Talk about coming out, with how gay men and lesbians living in the United States discuss it. Michael also told me to talk to Laura E. Enriquez, who is studying the undocumented immigrant youth movement, where there were flyers and events focused on coming out as undocumented and unafraid. Finally, Rebecca DiBernardo reported that adult children of gay men and lesbians have their own coming out stories as people with one or more gay parents. From 2011 to 2013, the five of us met weekly to create a joint interview guide, discuss coding strategies and emerging findings, and workshop drafts of 4 standalone articles, published in the subsequent years. Parts of chapters 2, 4, and 5 draw on interviews and analyses in these previously published articles. Michael Stambulis-Rustoffer, Laura E. Enriquez, and Nicole Iturriaga conducted all the interviews with the gay men and women. We only use the ones with Americans in this book, undocumented immigrant youth, and Mormon fundamentalist polygamist activists, respectively. I am grateful to all the people who agreed to be interviewed for this research. While Rebecca DiBernardo and I ultimately decided that the interviews with people who have at least one lesbian, gay, or queer parent required a different kind of analysis and were not a good fit for this book, the book has benefited from the valuable insights Rebecca DiBernardo provided as part of the original research team. An anonymous reviewer for Oxford University Press suggested that I add a chapter on the Me Too movement, which emerged after I submitted a book proposal and sample drafts. I am grateful for this suggestion, which has allowed me to extend my early and ongoing research on sexual harassment. The Oxford reviewers and editor James Cook made several other helpful suggestions during the review process, for which I am most grateful. My literary agent, Jill Marshall, read every chapter of the book and provided brilliant feedback, for which I am deeply grateful. Ian Patrick patiently worked with me over several sketches to create the beautiful original illustration on the book cover. As I was writing the conclusion to the book, UCLA Gender Studies professor Juliette A. Williams and I were conducting interviews with leading LGBTQ+ rights activists for another research project. While we had no questions about coming out in our interview guide, several people spoke spontaneously about the political importance of coming out and shared their own coming out experiences. I am grateful to Juliette for encouraging me to use this material in the conclusion to this book. More generally, I am grateful to Juliette for providing me with intellectual inspiration, support, and camaraderie over the past several years, as well as for helpful comments on several of the chapters in this book. All of my work is better thanks to our ongoing conversation about gender, sexuality, culture, and politics. Juliette has also made the process of research and writing more fun. I am lucky indeed to have Juliette as a colleague and friend. The analysis presented in this book benefited from feedback on earlier co-authored articles, specifically Jeffrey Alexander, Jessica Catalino, Lee Befair, Hannah Landecker, Purnima Mankakar, Damon Marl, Paul McLean, Vilma Ortez, Gabriel Rossman, David Paternotte, Thomas Pinneros Shields, Adam Slez, Bruce Western, and anonymous reviewers from the American Journal of Cultural Sociology, Social Problems, and Sociological Forum offered helpful feedback on at least one book chapter. Gabriel Rossman consistently communicated his interest for this project, forwarding me countless instances of coming out. I regret that I could not systematically explore them all in this book. Christine Williams generously read an earlier version of this manuscript and provided insightful comments that inspired important revisions to Chapter 6 and the conclusion. Several colleagues expressed enthusiasm for the project idea, cheering me on when I was having doubts. This helped keep me on track, and for that I am most grateful. Rachel Lee has been a longtime supporter of this project, and as the director of the UCLA Center for the Study of Women, CSW, generously organized a colloquium on the topic in February 2016. James Schultz was tasked as respondent, and this book benefited enormously from his comments, as well as from comments from Kristen Schilt, who presented related work at the symposium. Chan Mi Lee provided research assistance. I could not have finished writing this book if former sociology chair